What is going on, guys? T-Dot here, and today we're back for episode number 16 of the Minnesota Twins franchise here in MLB 14, the show. So in this episode, we are getting into August. You can see we are 2 games back from the wild card chase or whatever. I believe we were like 4 games out of the division, so we're really chasing that wild card spot. I said in the last episode that there's probably only going to be one team from our division going to the playoffs, but it's looking like the whole AL is going to be weak this year, and it's potentially possible for us to have a very close to 500 record and still make the playoffs as that second wildcard spot. So it's really looking like a weak AL. I think there's only, like, obviously the 3 division leaders are above 500, and there's only the 2 or 3 other teams over 500. So it's a really weak AL. The NL must be very, very strong. We're taking on Kansas City here, a division matchup. Kansas City's pretty much out of it at this point. They actually dealt their closer Greg Holland at the deadline to the Red Sox in a very big blockbuster move where they got John Lester in return. So a huge trade there, which is actually really surprising that they would. Well, it's kind of surprising for both sides, but in the first inning, you can see Elvis Andrus would get on by walking, and then Eric Hosmer would get a base hit to the right side, so there would be runners on first and second, and Yoenis Cespedes would dig in with the 3-2 count and 1 out. He is going to ground this one back to second base. The second baseman was over at second base because the runners were going. If not, that probably would have been through the hole, but nonetheless, runners on second and third. Will Myers up and 2 outs. The 2-1 pitch, he's going to ground this one. The third baseman comes across, cuts it off, throws him out at first, and that'll do it for the top half of the first. So we're taking on Kansas City, and obviously that is the team that we traded Joe Mauer to. He's batting 300 this season. I believe he was an all-star, but they've made a bunch of other trades. Obviously, I said they made that trade for John Lester. They also have a few other different players, some of them being like Neil Walker's also in there. But Phil Hughes is going for us in this one. He's 16-4 with a 3.35 ERA. He's having a great season. He's actually in contention for the Cy Young this season. Him and David Price are all in the top 3 for the Cy Young race this season. So Hughes getting on the hill early. He's going to give up a base hit down the left field line to Alcides Escobar, who's going to make a turn for second base. Cespedes with the throw into second base as well late, and Alcides Escobar is in there with a stand-up double to start off the game. So next up would be Joe Mauer with the runner on base. He is going to get a base hit into left field. Cespedes comes up throwing, and they're not going to test the arm of Cespedes. So next up would be Alex Gordon, who is going to ground this one to second base onto second, and the Elvis Andrus turns it at second for the double play. So we get out of the jam. The run does not come across the score. But here later in the game, you can see Elvis Andrus stretching out for that one, and a little bloop hit there, saw it off, and that is going to be Neil Walker getting into second base with that little bloop hit. Next up would be Justin Maxwell with the runner on second base. He is going to strike out swinging on the slider, so that would bring up our half of the inning where Eric Hosmer would lead us off with the 3-1 count. He is going to So Hosmer would take that pitch outside for ball 4. So we get a runner on base here for Yoenis Cespedes coming up, facing the lefty, hits lefties phenomenally. And with the runner on first base, he would turn on this pitch, setting it to deep center field. And this one will make it over the center field wall. Yoenis Cespedes gives us the lead here with the 2-run shot to center field, and that would put 2 runs on the board for us, our first 2 runs of the game. I believe only like our 4th or 5th hit in this game, because Danny Duffy has been pitching pretty well so far in this game. But Yoenis Cespedes tags him for a 2-run shot with Hosmer on base. He gave up a walk to Hosmer, and then Cespedes tags him for 2. And Alex Gordon would come up here in the bottom of the 4th. He would hit this one to first base. Hosmer on to second, back to first. But the return throw from Elvis Andrus goes into the dugout, and it'll be an error on Elvis Andrus, obviously. But with the runner on second base, Salvador Perez would come up with 1 out. He would smack this base hit into right field. So the error proves costly from Elvis Andrus, because the runner on second wouldn't have been there, and that wouldn't have cost us a run there if he had made the throw to first. So with the 3-2 count here to Byron Buxton, from the lefty Danny Duffy, he is going to take this one deep to left field. This one's going to hit off top of the wall, and he's going to make it into third base safely with a triple. He is leading the league in triples with 11 now after that one right there. So Elvis Andrus comes up next. He is going to drop down a bunt here. A safety squeeze would bring the run across, and that is a nice play there. Two speedy runners tacking on an extra run here to pad the lead. So Justin Maxwell comes up here in the bottom of the 5th with a 1-2 count. He's going to get a base hit up the middle, and they would have a runner on base. And with Lorenzo Cain batting, Justin Maxwell will swipe second base. So that'll put a runner on second base for Nochuri Aoki. Takes the 3-2 pitch down the left field line. Cespedes comes up throwing one of the best arms in the MLB, but the throw is up the first base line just a little bit, allowing the runner to score. So with the runner on second base here, Nochuri Aoki is on second. Joe Mauer batting. He is going to take this changeup from Phil Hughes deep center field, and this one is going to make it over the left center field fence. Joe Mauer against his old team. The Royals don't have much to play for, but Joe Mauer definitely trying to play his best against his old team and trying to knock them out of a playoff spot. He gives his team the lead here and makes it a 3-run inning for the Royals after they scored 1 run before this 2-run shot from Joe Mauer. So Joe Mauer showing some Mauer power here and giving his team the lead, making it 4-3. But Yoenis Cespedes driving this ball deep right field. This one is going to hit off the top of the wall. Cespedes will be into second base, nearly his second home run of the game, and that will do it for Danny Duffy on the day. He goes, I believe, 5 and some thirds or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but he did have a nice day. Only gave up 3 runs, definitely putting his team in a situation where they could win this game as he leaves with the lead. And if Jeremy Guthrie coming in, if he can hold it here, then Danny Duffy could still potentially have the win. But Jeremy Guthrie coming in, former starter, they're using him out of the bullpen this season, looks like it. And he's been pitching pretty decently, shaky a little bit here and there, obviously with that almost 5 ERA. But here with Jonathan Lucroy up in the run on third base now, with the 1 out, he's going to fly this one to right field. I believe this is Maxwell in right. He's going to come up throwing. The relay to the plate is just offline. Cespedes comes into the plate and scores to tie this game up at 4-4. So Lucroy with the RBI ties this game up. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 count for Salvador Perez, and he is going to walk on the curveball down. Didn't want to test him there. Next up would be Justin Maxwell. 3-2 count, 2 outs. He's going to get a bloop single into left field. Cespedes comes up throwing, and the throw is up the first base line once again, allowing the runner to score from second base, and that will give the Royals the lead here, and that would prove costly here as we move in to the top of the 7th with 2 outs here. Guthrie still pitching. Andrus is going to hit this one to short, and Alcides Escobar makes a phenomenal play, jump throw to first base, and he gets the speedy Andrus out at first base. So Tim Collins would come into the ball game here. He's facing the heart of our order here, and most specifically the reason he's in the game is to face Eric Hosmer, the one lefty in our lineup at this point, and he would get him out as Hosmer would hit this one right back off the pitcher and makes the play at first base to get the out. So he gets through the inning, 3 up, 3 down. A nice inning of work for Tim Collins, coming in relief after Guthrie went 2 solid innings. So Dominique Leone is going to come in for the Minnesota Twins. He's sort of a back end of the bullpen guy. He's kind of moved into that 8th inning role after Jared Burton has struggled a lot. But Dominic Leone has pitched all right, not phenomenally, but he is definitely worthy of that 8th inning role, at least for the times that I've used him. But Justin Maxwell goes down swinging here, and Dominic Leone has a 3 up, 3 down inning. So Andrew Triggs comes into the game. He is the Royals closer, as I said earlier. They trade away Greg Holland for John Lester from the Red Sox, but he gets the first out quickly, and Anthony Rendon would come up next. A diving stop there by Alcides Escobar, but he cannot throw Anthony Rendon out at first base. So Rendon gets on with an infield single. Next up would be Miguel Sano, and he's going to go down by way of the K on the 2-seamer. So Triggs gets the second out of the inning. Oswaldo Arcia comes off the bench to pinch hit for, I believe, it was Eduardo Nunez, my bad. So Arcia comes off the bench, and Anthony Gose also comes in to pinch run. Obviously, the rosters have been expanded, so Gose is up. He's a very speedy runner, and this is the game-tying run. So he's going to be on first base here for Oswaldo Arcia. He's going to be going on the pitch because it is a 3-2 count, 2 outs, and he's going to walk here. Oswaldo Arcia puts 2 runners on base, flips the lineup over for Byron Buxton, 2-1 count. A base hit could tie this game, especially with the speed on base. Guesses the pitcher right, but he's going to get sawed off there. Triggs makes the play to first base, and Buxton cannot come through in the clutch. So we lose here to the Royals 5-4. Definitely not what we wanted to see here against the Royals. We're getting later in the season, and we definitely need to pick it up here if we want to win one of the wild card spots, or even we still could potentially win this division, but we definitely need to go extremely on a hot streak to win the division, and we need the Indians to go on a very big cold streak. So you can stick around for the box scores. Joe Mauer does get the player of the game. If you did enjoy this, you can leave a like. Hopefully we can get one of these episodes out every day until Madden comes out next Tuesday. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
The Royals come out on top 5-4. Good night from Kansas City.
7 hits, 1 error. They left 6 men on base.